Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope everyone is fine. Today is Thursday. The date is the 17th of September 2020. Today we are going to take pages 18 plus 19 from the welcome unit. And our lesson targets will be 1. Comparative and superlative adjectives revision. 2. Listen and read pages 18 plus 19. Comparative and superlative adjectives. Comparative adjectives are used to compare between two objects or two persons. Example, Meg is taller than Sam. So here we were comparing between Meg and Sam. Okay, and the adjective was tall, and we add er to the adjective, so it becomes comparative adjectives. And here we compared between two persons, Meg and Sam. Example 2, my house is larger than hers. Example 3, your dog is faster than Jim's dog. Now, superlative adjectives. Superlative adjectives are used in sentences where a subject is compared to a group of objects. Example, my house is the largest one in our neighborhood. So we compared the house with all other houses in the neighborhood. So we use superlative adjective. And for superlative adjective, we add est. We add est at the end of the adjective. Example 2, your dog is the fastest of any dog in the race. Irregular comparatives and superlatives. Comparative. Your painting is better than mine. Your painting is better than mine. So we are comparing between two things. Superlative example, today is the worst day in my life. Here we are comparing one day comparing to all days. That's why we use superlative adjective. Okay, here we have the adjective, here we have comparative, how we make it comparative, and here superlative. Good, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Much, more, the most. Now open your pupils book on page 18. And here you can see the heroes. They are looking at the winners list for each event on sports day. Now you are going to hear about the competitions of each hero. Listen carefully.
Pupils book, welcome unit. Page 18. Activity 1. Look and listen.
The heroes had a sports day. There were 6 competitions. The first competition was lifting heavy rocks. Miss Smart was stronger than Mr. Flash, but the winner was Mr. Smash. Hooray! I was the strongest! Next was the running competition. Miss Sparkle was the fastest. Hooray! And Mrs. Swift was the slowest.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Then it was time for the swimming competition. Mrs. Swift was faster than Mr. Flash.
Well.
But the fastest swimmer was Super Boots. You were better than all of us. Then it was time for diving. Super Boots was the worst.
Oh! You were worse than me, Super Boots.
The last competition was the most exciting. Who was the bravest hero? And who was the most frightened hero? The most frightened was Mr. Smash. What? I don't believe it.
You were more frightened than me, Mr. Smash.
And the bravest hero was Mrs. Swift.
Hooray!
Well, well, well. That's marvelous.
Okay, now let's see competition number 1, lifting heavy rocks. Let's compare between Mr. Smash and Mrs. Smart. We can see that Mr. Smash in the first level and Mrs. Smart in the second level. So, who was stronger? Who was stronger? Mr. Smash was stronger than Mr. Smart. Now, let's see competition number 3. Swimming competition. Let's compare between Mrs. Sparkle and Mr. Flash. Mrs. Sparkle in the second level and Mr. Flash in the 5th level. So, who is better? Mrs. Sparkle is a better swimmer than Mr. Flash. Now, in the last competition, who was the most frightened and who was the bravest hero? The most frightened was Mr. Smash, and the bravest hero was Mrs. Swift. Okay, now let's answer page 18A. Number 1. Mr. Smash was space than Mr. Smart. Use strong. Mr. Smash was stronger than Mr. Smart. Here we are comparing between two persons. 2. Mrs. Sparkle was a space swimmer than Mr. Flash. Good. Mrs. Sparkle was a better swimmer than Mr. Flash. Number 3. Mrs. Smart was a space diver than Mr. Flash. Bad. Mrs. Smart was a worse diver than Mr. Flash. Super Boots was more frightened than Mrs. Smart. Now open your pupil's book, page 19. Question 2. Read the questions from the book. 1. Who was the best swimmer? Super Boots was the best swimmer. 2. Who was the worst swimmer? Mrs. Smart was the worst swimmer. Number 3. Who was the fastest runner? Mrs. Sparkle was the fastest runner. Number 4. Who was the slowest runner? Mrs. Swift was the slowest runner. Number 5. Who was the strongest hero? Mr. Smash was the strongest hero. Number 6. Who was the best diver? Mr. Flash was the best diver. Number 7. Who was the bravest hero? Mrs. Swift was the bravest hero. Number 8. Who was the most frightened hero? Mr. Smash was the most frightened hero. Now answer the questions. Question Question 3:1. In the flying competition, was Super Boots better than Mr. Smash? No, Mr. Smash was better than Super Boots. 2. In the swimming competition, was Mr. Flash worse than Mrs. Smart? No, Mr. Smart was the worst. 3. In the flying competition, was Mrs. Sparkle as good as Mrs. Swift? No, Mrs. Swift was better than Mrs. Sparkle. Now, page 19. B. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the word in brackets. 1. Mrs. Swift was the bravest of all the heroes. We used superlative adjective. 2. Mr. Smash was the most frightened. Number 3. Mrs. Sparkle was the best runner in the competition. 4. Super Boots was the space diver of all the heroes. Use bad. So we put worst. Superlative adjective.